This is my storytelling wish, and I have my tea. Do you have your tea? Good. Let's blow some wishes. Wish, 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 wish. Thank you. Let's have a little flying spell. So we fly into our story, and then we're just going to crack on with our story. I've got to put on my reading glasses. Okay, there we are. All right. Hi, welcome for story time. Okay, now I did read in Community Share yesterday, and I was so nervous it was ridiculous because I felt like I don't know those people. I don't know all those people. However, I was really proud of myself that I was brave enough to do it. And I have to say that it feels much more comfortable reading stories to all of you because we're kind of in the same nest. I also know it's good to try things that are really outside of our comfort zone because it helps us learn things about ourselves and it shakes us up a bit. And sometimes we think, woo, who knew I could do that? So give things a try. Just get that Pippi spirit. You never know what might happen. So what happened? The last time we read, Pippi had given those bullies something to think about. She had lifted all the bullies up and put them in the tree and on the gatepost and in the toy cart and in a flower bed. So they were just going home to Pippi's house. Are you sitting comfortably? Are you in a comfy spot? That's good. Okay, away we go. So when they were back home in Pippi's garden, Pippi said, "Oh dear me, how awful. Here I found 2 beautiful things and you 2 didn't get anything." "Well, Tommy, why don't you hunt around a little bit more? You don't know what you might find. Hey, see that tree over there? There's a hollow tree. And old things are usually the best things for all thing finders." Well, Tommy said he didn't believe that he and Annika would find anything. But to please Pippi, he went over to the tree and he put his hand into the hollow trunk. It was in a garden. You probably wouldn't do that if you were somewhere where there are porcupines or skunks or any creature's home, because we don't want to disturb creatures' homes because it's their home. This was in a garden. So he put his hand into the hollow of the tree and he cried, "Oh, goodness me!" in amazement. He pulled out his hand, and do you know what he found in the hollow of the tree? Neither do I, because I've lost my sentence. He found, one second, a little notebook with a leather cover. And it had a special loop, and there was a tiny silver pencil. "Well, I never," said Tommy. Pippi said, "Now see that? There's nothing so nice as being a thing finder. It's a wonder there aren't more people taking up the job of being a thing finder. You know, there'll be tailors and shoemakers and chimney sweeps, but thing finders, you won't find many of those." And then she said to Annika, "See that old tree stump over there? That one that looks particularly old? Well, one practically always finds things in old tree stumps." So Annika stuck her hand down in the stump and almost immediately got hold of a red coral necklace. She and Tommy stood open-mouthed and astonished. They thought hereafter that they would be thing finders every single day. Well, Pippi had been up half the night before because she'd been playing ball and she didn't want to tell herself to go to bed because she was having so much fun, and she didn't even get cross with herself to tell herself to go to bed. So suddenly she felt very sleepy. I think I need to go to have a nap, she said. Would you two come in and tuck me in? So in they went to the house. And when Pippi was sitting on the edge of the bed taking off her shoes, Tommy said most respectfully, excuse me, Pippi, but why do you wear such big shoes? Well, said Pippi, so I can wiggle my toes, of course, she answered. And then she crept into bed. She always slept with her feet on the pillow and her head halfway down under the quilt. Well, that's the way they sleep in Guatemala, she announced. I don't think that's true. She's telling a tall tale. And, well, it's the only way that I can really sleep, you see, because this way, if my feet are on the pillow, I can wiggle my toes while I'm sleeping too. Can you go to sleep without a lullaby? She went on. I always have to sing to myself for a while, otherwise I can't sleep a wink. Well, Tommy and Annika heard a humming sound under the quilt, and it was Pippi singing herself to sleep. Quietly and cautiously, they tiptoed out so they wouldn't disturb her. And in the doorway, they turned around to take a last look toward the bed. And they could see nothing of Pippi except her feet resting on the pillow, and there she lay, wiggling her toes and humming under the quilt while she sung herself to sleep. And Tommy and Annika ran home. Annika held her coral necklace tightly in her hand. That certainly was strange, she said. Tommy, you don't suppose that Pippi put those things in the tree stumps for us to find, do you? Tommy said, you never can tell with Pippi. Just about anything happens when she's around. And that's where I'm going to stop. And I just want to tell you a funny little thing that happened today before I ran out of time. Today I had I thought it was a good idea. Well, I thought it might be fun to try to make a Pippi Longstocking wig, with yarn and braids. And my dear son, Louis, very kindly decided that he would get behind his mum's crazy idea and be the cameraman, because he's luckily very tall, so he can stand above a table on a chair and hold the camera, while I thought I would invent a most genius way of making a Pippi Longstocking wig, and it's a disaster. But it's a funny disaster, and I thought maybe you could improve on it if you felt like you wanted to make one. So I decided I would try and make one that was a no-sew Pippi wig. It would be much better if it was sewn down the middle, but I used tape. So I'm going to put it on. And then you can decide if you want to make one. And then we made a little video to show you how to make a very silly looking wig with duct tape. So, but this one we tried see-through tape. And then, okay, here you go. La 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 la. You'll have to ignore there'll be a bump at the back. Okay, you ready? Here's the most terrible Pippi wig you've ever seen. Okay. Hi. Isn't that terrible? Okay, so the idea is that you have the yarn in the middle, so you could sew it onto some a ribbon, and then Lydia, thank you for making this. What about this? I was thinking if you needed to have some bangs. Nice, even nicer. Okay, I'm gonna run out of time. If you want to make a Pippi wig much better than this one, there's a funny little video that could give you a start, and maybe you could send me a picture. But please post something on the page for us all to enjoy. It can be silly as anything. I'm going to run out of time. Thank you for joining me. Bye.